Hey guys, welcome back. It's so good to be with you again. I was recently at a Keller Williams conference. It's our national event that we have every year. And I've got, I don't know, 40 pages of notes, and so many good things came from that, and a lot of great conversations. Probably will share a lot of it with you here on Mojo. But I have to just share something with you. I had this aha moment sitting and listening to one of the speakers, and it was really powerful for me when the person was talking about struggling and the ability that we have to bounce back and be resilient. And it was just one sentence that they said that truly made a huge difference in the way I saw a lot of things, including myself. And here it is. The statement was that burnout does not occur in people who are not committed and passionate about the work that they do. That it's when we are truly giving so much of ourselves and 100% of ourselves, and we are deeply aligned with the cause, we're committed to the goals. That's when we risk burnout. Now, I've talked about burnout here a lot, and like everyone else, I've experienced my own burnout. I feel like I had a little bit of a mini breakdown even last year, but that's okay because you can't have the breakthrough unless you have the breakdown. But when I heard this, I have to say it resonated with me in a different way, because I think sometimes we talk about 8 ways to avoid burnout, which is one of my podcast episodes. We talk about how to bounce back from burnout, and we share a lot of things around the topic. But when you really start to pull it apart and you realize, hey, you know what? Maybe the fact that I got burnt out is just a result of how much energy I've been putting into it. And yes, we can talk a lot about balance and self-care, and all of those things are super important. And not to say that burnout is the goal, but I think if you've been feeling that way lately, maybe this is just to tell you it's probably because you care. And it's funny because sometimes I'll be honest, I've even thought to myself sometimes, I wish I didn't care so much. You see some people around and you're like, why can't I be like that person who doesn't seem to let it bother them? It rolls off their back. And this is not about trying to judge someone's commitment or criticize or anything like that. This is purely me just sharing some thoughts with you around this one statement that, I don't know, it just made me feel like I could be graceful and easy on myself, and I could allow myself that little bit of grace to say, there's no shame in this game. It's okay if I got a little bit burnt out, because number one, I was able to bounce back. I was able to regulate my feelings. I was able to really consider my mindset and look at the way I was looking at things. And that's great. But I think just hearing this person say that burnout is a result of really being passionate about what you do, I had a little small victory. I had at that moment this little personal victory where I was able to say, ah, that's it. The burnout I experienced wasn't me being a failure. It was just me putting a lot of energy into what I was doing. And yes, was I able to pull back and examine some things and realign and adjust what I was really putting my energy to? Sure. But my intention was clear. My intention was to succeed. My intention was to win. My intention was to support the people around me, to help the people around me, to grow the company, to move things forward. And so if I did experience a little temporary burnout, it's just because those engines were working at such a high level. They were just going on all cylinders. I needed a minute to refuel. Have you ever felt like that? You just need a minute to refuel. Again, I just felt like that was a little win and I wanted to share it with you. So if you are feeling a little burnt out right now, I think it's important to examine why. I think it's important to ask yourself some questions around what you're thinking, what you're feeling, where you're putting a lot of your time and energy. But I also think that it's about understanding about your commitment and your passion. And is this just an opportunity to channel it a little bit? Listen, all of our strengths, as awesome as they are, all of our strengths can become our weaknesses if we don't manage them properly. I know that was true for me. And when I experienced burnout in the past, it was usually because I wasn't really managing my strengths well enough. And I was maybe overcompensating and I was allowing myself to put way too much of my self into something or someone. And like I said, when give and give and give, and you don't take time to refill, you're going to burn out. So if you're feeling that way, could this be an opportunity for you to do some self-assessing? Could you take a moment right now, take a step back? And look, this could be happening in your business, but it could also be happening in your personal life. Maybe you're feeling a little burnt out in one of your relationships. And I know that can be challenging. I've been there before too, because oftentimes I think the burnout runs parallel to our passion, our level of energy, our commitment. Sometimes the people we care the most about, the people that we love and really treasure in our lives, sometimes we can be on different pages. We can be a little off. We might not be seeing it the same way. And maybe it feels like you're pouring so much into that person or that relationship. And that could be causing you to feel a little burnt out. And the thing about burnout, it doesn't mean quitting and it doesn't mean giving up. It means it's an opportunity to consider how to reignite. And that's what I did. I looked at myself and said, okay, how can I reignite? How can I recommit? How can I refuel? How can I focus a little bit more on self care? How can I examine how I'm feeling? And how can I really examine how I'm using my strengths? And what are my expectations? That was also a big thing for me, is really examining, what was I expecting? What was I expecting of myself? What was I expecting of people around me? And I had to align that. So that could be an opportunity for you too right now. Where do you need to align some of your expectations with your intentions, with your results, and with what other people expect of you as well? So I just had to share because I was excited when I heard that burnout occurs most of the time in people who are just super passionate and super committed to what they're doing. So I think that there's a lot of inspiration in that. I'm not saying again that burnout's the goal, but if you have been feeling that way, maybe it's just a good sign that you do care a lot. And it's probably so ingrained in you. It's part of your DNA. And I'm not encouraging you to care less, but I am encouraging you to examine how much of yourself you give away, how much of yourself you pour into your projects, your people, your relationships, and just really make sure that you're getting what you need in return. Because I think for people who are passionate and committed and who want to win, oftentimes through other people, right? Oftentimes we're not just looking to win for winning's sake. We're looking to win because something valuable is at stake that we want to achieve. And most times it's because we want to achieve it with people. We want to find or carve maybe that path for others to follow. So those are all great things, but we can't do it at the risk of our own mental or physical health. And I think it is important for us to really take inventory of how we're thinking and feeling and recognize when we might be running low on that energy, when we might be really giving away a lot of our passion or even our power to something or someone, so that we can say, okay, time out. Doesn't mean I'm gonna change how I feel, doesn't mean I'm gonna change my level of commitment, doesn't mean I don't wanna win. It just means that I see that the pace in which I'm doing it or the route that I'm taking, maybe there's a better way. Maybe there is another way to do it. Because even though I'm normalizing this feeling of burnout a little bit today, it's not always the optimal goal, right? We just have to manage our own expectations and our own energy so that we can sometimes rein it in and protect ourselves from feeling like we have nothing left to give at the end of the day. And no one wants to feel that kind of depletion on any levels. What are some ways that you can restore, renew, feel refreshed at the end of each day? Not at the end of each month or end of each year. It's really an opportunity for us to look at the end of each day. How can we unplug a little bit? How can we do something that is fun for ourselves, that is meaningful for ourselves? how do we get more comfortable feeling it's okay to put ourselves first, right? So that we're not feeling like that's selfish because it's not, it's self preservation. And self preservation just means that you are allowing yourself to recharge your battery so you can go back tomorrow and be an amazing part of the team, to be a great support person, to be the leader, the driver, right? All the things that make you who you are and all the things that you are excited to do. You have to just figure out how to bring in a little bit of that balance. Yeah, I just wanted to share that moment with you. It was really a pivotal moment because it shifted a lot of things in my own thoughts and in my own feelings. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I was carrying a lot of guilt for that period of time I experienced last year where, guys, I shared it here in Mojo before. I was really burnt out. I was really questioning whether I was on the right path in a lot of areas of my life. And I know I'm not alone. I know I'm not the only person who's ever felt that way. But even though I felt like I was moving forward and I definitely feel different about things, I definitely have realigned my commitment, there was still this little part of me that was feeling guilty about it. And just hearing that person say that burnout occurs in people who are committed and passionate and who care a great deal about what they're doing and how they're showing up in life, it was like, oh, all this weight just dropped. And I felt, yes, it is because I care too much. Maybe I care a little too much sometimes, but it's because I care. It's because what I do matters to me. And I was just giving so much of myself that, of course, the flame blew out. But that doesn't mean it can't be relit. And so if that's what you needed to hear today, light it up, friends. Light it up, find a way to reignite your passions. Understand that to feel the way you've been feeling is just part of the human experience. It's okay. You're not stuck. It just means you have to figure out how to bounce back, claim a little bit more of your inner peace, take back a little bit more of your power, find the ways to recharge the battery, be kind to yourself, and just move forward right now. You don't have to wait till tomorrow, right now, wherever you are at this moment, whether you're listening in your car, you're working at home, you're doing laundry, whatever you're doing, if you're on a walk, you need to understand that you have at this moment every opportunity in front of you to shift what you're thinking, shift how you're feeling, and move forward in a new way. I wish that for you. I thank you for listening. And I'm Anna, your friend, and I love you. And I wish you a great day. I'll talk to you soon.